Sometimes the ball gets pretty simple, 2 turnovers. They had 8 explosives. We had 4. 2 of ours got called back for penalties. So I think we were even in terms of numbers of penalties, but it was when they happened that really just put us in a bad spot early on. And then, I thought they did a great job just getting on the edge. Shador extending plays, finding guys down the field. And then even Huntley comes in, and makes a couple of plays with his legs. They were able to continue some drives. I thought they did a great job. I was proud of our group. Played physical. Some great running and hitting happened all across. So really proud of the play style. But, part of our play style is playing smart. I didn't feel like we did that. I felt like there was sloppiness, in some of the drives. And we're looking at 1st and 15s, and we're looking at some situations like that. So we got to take that, look at it and make sure that we're continuing to coach the technique better in some of those situations.
What did you see on the Xavier play early in the game?
Yeah, I was like right in front of it. We asked our receivers to finish the play with hands on. He had his hands on the guy the whole time. Through the echo of the whistle, the guy, swung and chopped his arms down, and Xavier just kind of held onto his jersey. Then they started exchanging punches. You can't do that. Neither side, both guys got ejected, rightly so. We can't have that as a part of our game. It's a physical game. Can't handle that, Tempers are going to get hot, but as soon as you throw a punch, all of a sudden we're at a disadvantage. So we want to see better from X for sure.
You got a chance to talk to him?
I have not. No, I just got in the locker room right now. So they escorted him off the field. Right after that play. So.
Dave, a lot of what you just described about kind of the sloppiness that happened later in the game. Your thoughts on the touchdown drive, and did you see everything you needed to from that first team offense?
I thought it was good to just kind of see, some of the matchups that we took advantage of. And, some guys made plays down the field. T-Mac made a nice play down the field. Jaylen Coker comes in, when Xavier goes out and did a fantastic job. Like we didn't skip a beat, made some great plays that way too. So I saw some good rhythm. And I think, the first drive, wasn't what we wanted, but it was good to just get the group out there, just working together, getting into the flow of the game, getting some good runs. Loved how hard Chuba ran, Rico ran, there was a good enough work there, and thinking about maybe getting them another series as we go into Houston, to just kind of feel the flow of the game and have to be out there, kind of work through things on the sideline.
What's your assessment of T-Mac's day?
I thought it was really good. I thought he gave himself some good opportunities to win. I thought there was a ball got on him pretty quickly down there. Could have been the first touchdown. He got hung up a little, and that's red zone football in the NFL. It happens quickly. The window's closed, and the quarterbacks are going to put their back foot in the ground. Bryce delivered a great throw right there, and I think that's one that he'll be able to grow from. We had another opportunity on a slant and go where he and Andy just kind of didn't connect on it, but I thought he won. I thought he got on an edge, and I thought the throw was just a little bit high, but I like the speed of play. I love that he was able to give us an option there.
The 30-yarder down the sideline, though, that started that drive,
Yeah.
is that just kind of indicative of everything you thought you had in him?
Absolutely. That's what we're counting on. That's why he's here. Stretch the field, play big, and that was, a sign of good things.
Dave, Damian Lewis didn't play today. What's the latest on his injury?
Yeah, he strained his shoulder in the joint practice. and wasn't able to finish that day. So we shut him down. He'll be week to week, just kind of as we evaluate his shoulder. But, it's something that he's going to have to, prove that he gets the strength back and all that stuff. So he's in return to play for us.
Could that jeopardize his status for week one?
I hope not. But again, they gave us kind of a week to week deal on it. So, and I think I've known D. Lou for a long time, and he finds his way back on the field. So I'm confident that he'll be able to do that.
Dave, did you just say that you might play the offense like 3 series instead of 2 next week?
Yeah,
Is
I'd
that what
like
you're
to.
saying?
I'd like
Yeah.
to, and I think it's going to, depend on. We got another great week of practice, and we're going to have a joint practice. So I think, if we feel like we got enough work out of the practice part of it, it might look like tonight. But I'd love to play them just a little bit more. The more that you can do that, the more they can kind of, refocus and come out for another drive. And I'm very pleased with the conditioning of our group. I think Josh Hinks has done a great job of working with us, and Jeff Brown helped me plan the practices. I feel great about the conditioning level of the group, but it's really more about just the all the mechanics, of just coming out of a huddle, different situations that may come up.
Given how many young quarterbacks you've worked with,
Yeah.
what were your observations of Shador at practice and
Yeah.
during the game today?
Very impressed. Extending plays when he had to, getting the ball out of his hand quickly. I thought he did a great job of not sitting there in the pocket to see what was going to happen. He either took off and extended and made some plays with his legs, or he got the ball out quickly to a check down. And so I was just really impressed with just the way that he operated out there and really, kept himself pretty clean for the most part.
Dave, every team in this league that is either has a quarterback or is looking for one. You guys were sort of going through that last year with Bryce. What did you think of his night and kind of the decision? Did it sort of affirm your decision to play that first team offense?
Yeah, for Bryce, he loves to play. Like if asking all the starters, all of them expect to play. They want to play. They want to get out there. They want the juice. They want the competition. They want to get tired and have to function because they know that's a part of what we're doing. And, and Bryce, first and foremost, like he couldn't wait to get out there and just, give the new targets an opportunity in real life, play. So, yeah, I was really excited to just give those guys that opportunity.
Dave, was there anything to be gained from the first defense in the short amount of time they were out there?
I just saw some good physical play. I think they'd come up here and tell you they'd like to give up less on a couple of those runs. When we're sitting at 2nd and 6, on a 4-yard run, that's really not our standard and not what they want to do. But I love seeing the communication happen. I love seeing Corey Thornton show up like he's been, and these games, while every practice is so important, and Fan Fest was a great opportunity to kind of play at this time under the lights and the joint practice. Once you get into a game, there are guys. I think it's probably one of my favorite things about being in the NFL is there are guys who may not show up in practice, but all of a sudden make plays in games. And there are guys that are making plays in practice and they kind of disappear. And to kind of get that part to reveal itself, we got a bunch of plays. We got a lot of information now coming out of this game. So, and it was good to just kind of see that first group get out there and play with each other really, for the first time in a game.
What did you learn about your rookie year? Last question.
Oh, just the effort. Princely, off the top of my head, I remember one run play where he set a beautiful edge. Sam Roberts comes barreling down from the backside, and when you can set a great edge on the perimeter, you allow those big men inside to kind of come off their blocks, make plays, and the backers to flow over the top. Probably my favorite Nick Scorton play of the night was, had a great rush. Shador worked his magic, got out of it, kind of scrambled all the way back to the right. Nick pivoted, ran another 40 yards, chased him and knocked him out of bounds on a play that could have been a huge run. That's what we saw on film, that effort, that relentless pursuit, and I was so excited to just see that show up today because that's just great football, and so I'm really proud of him for, just playing with the kind of effort that we were expecting from him.
Dave, did you call the offense tonight?
Actually, Brad Idzik called it tonight, and I had the call sheet there. He kind of worked through a flow, worked through the openers, the first 15, so he kind of had like his good, good amount of plays right there, the situational stuff, and I kind of was just in his ear with just the plays, the style of plays that we were running, and wanting to try to hey, thinking runner keeper here, let's see a screen, let's some different things like that, just kind of feeding him stuff. But I wanted him to get that opportunity to be able to function with the guys and feel the flow of the game.
Dave, sorry, you mentioned Corey Thornton. Can you
Yeah.
expound on his night? He had a massive WWE style tackle.
Yeah.
PBU. Can you just expound on his?
He puts himself in good position, whether it's a tackle or whether it's making a play on the ball. Cooley's doing a great job, teaching him technique, footwork, and all that. He's taking the coaching. He's a natural football player, and then he shows up physical in those moments, and so that was really exciting to see.
Thank you, Coach.
Thank you.
Go ahead.
Go, Cass.
You mentioned earlier in the week about Jaylen really doing a lot this offseason to kind
Yeah.
of put himself in position
Yeah.
like he did tonight. Was that something he took on? Was that a challenge from the coaches? What kind of brought that about?
It was a collective effort. It was a collective effort to help Jaylen take the next steps in his career, coming off a rookie season and having a plan for your offseason. It was Josh Hinks, it was Denny Kellington, it was myself. It was really a collective group to all sit down and put our heads together and say, okay, we have a plan for you from now until training camp. And I promise you, if you stick to this plan, you'll see good results. Now let's give Jaylen the credit. You go away for 5 weeks, and he trained, and he worked himself into great shape, and he made some great plays on offense tonight. I can't wait to watch his special teams reel because he was on a couple of the teams and was available most of the night to help out that way too. And so I'm really proud of him. I'm proud of his response. And, when I see a guy smiling, and I know he's confident, and know he knows what he's doing and feels great. So I'm really happy that Jaylen came and showed up tonight. All right, thank you.